The word God usually signifies Lord. But every Lord is not a God. It is the dominion of a spiritual being which constitutes a God, a true, supreme, or imaginary. Dominion makes a true, supreme, or imaginary God. The same law takes place in a system consisting of many bodies, as in one single body, with regard to their persevering in their state of motion or of rest. For the progressive motion, whether of one single body, or of a whole system of bodies, is always to be estimated from the motion of the center of gravity. In experimental philosophy, we are to look upon propositions inferred by general induction from phenomena as accurately or very nearly true, notwithstanding any contrary hypotheses that may be imagined, till such time as other phenomena occur by which they may either be made more accurate, or liable to exceptions. The motions of the comets are exceedingly regular, and they observe the same laws as the motions of the planets. But they differ from the motions of vortices in every particular, and are often contrary to them. Just as the system of the sun, planets and comets is put in motion by the forces of gravity, and its parts persist in their motions, so the smaller systems of bodies also seem to be set in motion by other forces, and their particles to be variously moved in relation to each other, and especially by the electric force. It may be that there is no such thing as an equable motion, whereby time may be accurately measured. All motions may be accelerated or retarded, but the true or equable progress of absolute time is liable to no change. The same thing is to be understood of all bodies revolved in any orbits. They all endeavor to recede from the centers of their orbits. And were it not for the opposition of a contrary force which restrains them to and detains them in their orbits, which I therefore call centripetal, would fly off in right lines, with a uniform motion. Hypotheses should be subservient only in explaining the properties of things, but not assumed in determining them, unless so far as they may furnish experiments. Fidelity and allegiance sworn to the king is only such a fidelity and obedience as is due to him by the law of the land. For were that faith and allegiance more than what the law requires, we would swear ourselves slaves in the king absolute. Whereas by the law we are free men, notwithstanding those oaths. We are certainly not to relinquish the evidence of experiments for the sake of dreams and vain fictions of our own devising. Nor are we to recede from the analogy of nature, which is wont to be simple and always consonant to itself. If anyone offers conjectures about the truth of things from the mere possibility of hypotheses, I do not see by what stipulation anything certain can be determined in any science. Since one or another set of hypotheses may always be devised which will appear to supply new difficulties. it is indeed a matter of great difficulty to discover, and effectually to distinguish, the true motions of particular bodies from the apparent, because the parts of that immovable space, in which those motions are performed, do by no means come under the observation of our senses. The ancients considered mechanics in a twofold respect, as rational, which proceeds accurately by demonstration, and practical. To practical mechanics all the manual arts belong, from which mechanics took its name. Either represent that I sent notice of my method to Mr. Leibniz before he sent notice of his method to me, and left him to make it appear that he had found his method before the date of my letter. Why there is one body in our system, qualified to give light and heat to all the rest, I know no reason, but because the author of the system thought it convenient. And why there is but one body of this kind, I know no reason, but because one was sufficient to warm and enlighten all the rest. The hypothesis of matters being at first evenly spread through the heavens is, in my opinion, inconsistent with the hypothesis of innate gravity without a supernatural power to reconcile them, and therefore it infers a deity. That the divided but contiguous particles of bodies may be separated from one another is a matter of observation. And, in the particles that remain undivided, our minds are able to distinguish yet lesser parts, as is mathematically demonstrated.